flame represents the enduring spirit of connection, renewal, and healing. It will be carried by the Duruch dancers, who were established in 1991 by the late legendary performer and activist, Bobby McLeod. Please welcome the Duruch dancers and the Iraqi Orchestra. It's an honour to join you here today, both those gathered here at Barangaroo Reserve, but for all those tuning in from around the nation on SBS and NITV as well. It is a privilege to stand on Gadigal land, a place of profound cultural and historical significance as a proud Kamilaroi man. Barangaroo has long been a meeting place, a source of connection and a symbol of resilience and renewal. Today we come together in the spirit of unity, to reflect, to learn, to celebrate the extraordinary depth and diversity of our shared story. Wugulora has a wonderful meaning in the Gadigal language, one mob. This ceremony reminds us that we are all part of a collective journey, one that spans more than 65,000 years of First Nations culture, knowledge and storytelling. A special guest today is Gary Purchase. whose artworks, dancing in the moonlight, illuminated the sails of the world-renowned Sydney Opera House at first light this morning for the dawn reflections. The artwork features the Buri Buri, humpback whale, an honoured totem for coastal tribes and mobs all around our island home. Gary hopes this work reminds all Australians to respect our oceans and the creatures we share our beautiful country with. Since 2021, Dawn Reflection, undertaken in consultation with the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, invites us all to recall our country's unfolding story, told in many voices across countless generations. It is my privilege to invite Councillor Yvonne Weldon, a proud Wiradjuri woman, Chair of the Australia Day Council of New South Wales and member of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, to welcome us to country. But before she takes the stage, please give a round of applause to the Dunwich dancers.
There is so much that can be told from history, and whether you repeat it. We are gathered today, but on this day in 1938, 150 years after the ship sailed in and the commencement of destruction of the people, places and country. In 1938, in the Australia Hall on Elizabeth Street in Sydney, a place owned by the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council. In that hall, Aboriginal women and men declared on the 26th of January 1938 a day of mourning. This is Sorry Day for us, to recognise our people's sufferings, the ones that have passed away, the ones slowly dying from the treatment that cannot continue to be normalised. The Eora Nation's boundaries are the Hawkes River in the north, the Nepean in the west, and the Georges River in the south. On behalf of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, the elders and the members, I welcome everyone to the lands and the waterways of the Gadigal. I acknowledge the Gadigal people, whose spirits and ancestors will always remain with this land, our Mother Earth. As you travel across this beautiful continent of ours, get to know the nations, tribes and clans existing here for over 65,000 years. We all have our own practices, traditions, beliefs, religions and languages still today. My people, this country's people, your people, are the oldest continuously living culture of the world. Today and every day, we need to remember the impacts and the suffering of the First Nations people. We must commit to making a difference, a positive difference, producing a legacy of kindness and inclusion of the First Peoples, so we can do so for all peoples of this country, not placing guilt at the feet of you, but the right, the wrongs of the past, so they stop continuing today. If we don't truly ever create a joined future. Think about the difference that you could make. Standing strong, First Nations, all Australians, all of the nation, working together as one community. Just as we have witnessed this morning with the Yidaki Four Winds, connecting to our Mother Earth, channeling our songlines and paying homage to our ancestors and our Mother Earth. The lullaby of our grandmothers, our grandfather, that used to sing to us. Sing to us, our spirit earth. Let us all draw upon my people's spirits as we continue on our journey. May my people's spirits walk with you and guide you as we strive forward for us all. Before time was counted, we were here. We continue. We have survived. A day of sorrow, a day of sorry. One day can be a day of healing. Regardless of whether you call this Invasion Day, Survival Day or Australia Day, to heal, we need honest truth-telling, and we can only do this together. Again, on behalf of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, Nyinyi, Nala, Wongan, Mari, Bajari, Gadi, Nurda. Welcome to Gadigal country. This always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Thank you.
Moving on to that powerful welcome. Please join me in welcoming Her Excellency, the Honourable Margaret Beasley, Governor of New South Wales.
Yvonne, as always, thank you for your welcome. Thank you also those amazing dancers and that wonderful Yidaki performance. When you think that nobody else on this planet has heard that as we heard that this morning, I think they deserve another round of applause. And may I commence, as is my respectful tradition as Governor, in the language of the traditional owners here, the Gadigal, WagulOra, Babana Gamarada. We are on Gadigal land, and I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and all the elders across our state and across our nation. Premier, Ministers, State and Federal, Leader of the Opposition, ladies and gentlemen. It's part of our Australian mantra, in fact one that has been running across the social media all week, that we live in the best country in the world. It's a mantra that I fully subscribe to, but in doing so, it's important to recognise that its meaning can't be simply jingoistic. Rather, when we talk about Australia in these terms, it's important that we ask ourselves what we mean. That question may, and perhaps should, lead to another, namely, how well do we know and understand what makes our country the best, and indeed the most unique country in the world? Now, there are many reasons that will readily come to mind. Australia's first peoples and their ancient culture, the contribution made by those who have come from all parts of the world to make Australia their home, our natural beauty, mateship, the opportunities, our democracy and our freedoms. However, as we know only too well, this country is not without its scars, as we've heard. It has its natural disasters. It has its tragedies. It has disruption to our cohesion. And it has disadvantage. And there can be no question but that these are existential challenges. And we should be, indeed we need to be, all the better as a people, as one people, in the way we recognise and respond to those challenges, not only at institutional and governmental levels, but also as individuals. It's in responding as individuals that I suggest we should ask those questions that I posed at the beginning. Which brings me to ask another question. I'm sorry, I'm a lawyer. I do this as a living. I did this as a living. What is our sense of country? I'm sure that everyone here today has experienced that exquisite pleasure of walking on the beach with the sand oozing through your toes and the water lapping at your ankles. Some of you may have gazed at the star-filled night sky out in the bush, or have been up early enough to see the stunning red of our sunrises. These are quintessential Australian experiences. Although some at least might not have thought about it in these terms, those experiences, in essence, are experiencing country, something which connects us to nature and gives us a sense of what it is to belong. The smoking ceremony this morning and Yvonne's welcome tell of the broader and deeper understanding of country for Indigenous Australians. It's part of being, it's culture, it's ancient learning, and it is belonging. Disconnection from country has been both a symptom and a cause of much of First Nations disadvantage. The corollary is that connection, or perhaps more correctly, reconnection to country, is part of the answer to that disadvantage. The anecdotal evidence is overwhelming that this is so. Educators know that making connection to country is central to learning. Elders, in their wisdom, have always told us that this is so. And their view is affirmed by research undertaken by Curtin University, which found that Indigenous children whose parents promoted a strong sense of cultural identity in early childhood experienced better health and better socio-emotional outcomes in later life. And Associate Professor Michael Wright, who was a Hewitt Noongar elder, said that those findings aligned with his own research on the positive mental health benefits of culture and the reclaiming of language. And he added that the importance of cultural knowledge extends beyond Indigenous Australians themselves. And as we've learned, especially through times of natural disasters, that ancient cultural knowledge is part of the survival of our land, part of the survival of Mother Country. So today, as we leave, let us all open ourselves up to that sense of country, recognising that the culture and knowledge of First Nations people is their strength, and it follows the strength of our nation. We are, after all, as this ceremony tells us, Wugulora. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to introduce our next artist joining us from the Yirrkala community in Arnhem Land. Rowan Memuru is a gifted singer and songwriter. His soulful melodies reflect a love for country and culture overlaid with distinct perspectives on the modern world. Rowan will perform a cover of Yothu Yindi's Mainstream, a song that honours the spirit of black and white living together harmoniously. Rowan will be joined on stage by William Hewitt, the North Wind from the Yirrkala Orchestra. Please join me in welcoming Rowan Memuru and William Hewitt.
Reflections in the wider sea. 6 pretty girls on my mountain day. Yellow foam floating down the river, and voices I hear of yellow heroes.
that beautiful performance, Rowan and William. It's so incredible to have these artists on this stage, so let's give it up one more time. I would now like to welcome the Honourable Chris Minns, Premier of New South Wales. G'day everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for those beautiful songs, in particular that last one, which is a beautiful message this morning, performed by Rowan, and the message of black and white living together, learning together in the Dreamtime in Australia. It's exactly what we need to hear this morning. Thank you for that. It was beautiful. Thanks to Yvonne Weldon for that challenging but important welcome, and her hope that today and every day is used as an opportunity for healing. It's a message we needed to hear this morning. We appreciate it. Thank you, Governor, and in particular, Gary, for that amazing image this morning of a humpback whale breaching in Sydney Harbour on the beautiful sails of the Opera House. Gary, it's hard to make the most stunning building in the world even more beautiful, but you pulled that off this morning. Congratulations. We know that on this day in 1788, tens of thousands of years of culture was suddenly changed by the arrival of British ships. And that means that this day brings up a whole range of feelings and emotions that many of us feel. And it's also why this morning's ceremony is such an important way to start Australia Day, because it's a generous gesture from our Indigenous community to the rest of Australia. To be here singing, dancing, and carrying on thousands of years of culture is so powerful, and it's even more powerful when you see it this morning. I think it's also important in the wake of the month that we've had in Sydney and in New South Wales, particularly after Bondi on the 14th of December. The message this morning is of one mob, and it's an incredibly important message. Over the last month, many Australians have been in hospital rooms, or in funerals, or in community gatherings. And the idea that many keep coming back to is one of unity, which is what this morning means and is all about. I was also moved by the words of Rabbi Ullman last week at the National Day of Mourning just across the water at that same Opera House, where he said that because the country had united after the 14th of December in a way that he'd never seen before, they didn't just sit back and passively witness the news, but actively stood up to try and change the story. And as a result, he'd never been a prouder Australian. I thought that was a deeply moving moment and an astonishing statement of resilience and optimism, given the depth of the pain that many people have felt. I think it's a similar sentiment amongst the Indigenous community here today. It's astonishing to see the generosity on display, the sense of optimism, survival, connection to country and connection to culture is an amazing example of resilience. That despite the scars of the past, you're here with us in an outstretched hand, sharing culture, calling for the hope of healing. What it shows is that here in Australia, we are at our best when we can embrace our differences, whilst also dealing with pain and the complexity of our history, and still find a way to come together. In the Yolngu culture of northeast Arnhem Land, they talk about the fresh water and the salt water coming together. They call it Gamma. And it represents the idea of the rivers meeting the sea, where in those two estuaries and lagoons where the waters join, there's two different waters that flow together. I think that's our hope for Australia. Because our different cultures may be like different types of water journeys, we are on different journeys at times. But at the end of the day, we do unite in the one waterway. Those waters will join. And that is in our commitment to democracy, the rule of law, freedom, respect, equality. It's a much tighter bond that we need in a country like ours in 2026. And that way, we can truly ride the tides of life together as Australians. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Premier. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Dunich dancers who will be performing the Malukma Mosquito Dance and Manyip the Finnish Dance. Keep that applause going to the Dunich dancers who will definitely drop a heartbeat to today's ceremony. Thank you again to the Dunich dancers. Now, I'd like to ask you, if you're able, please stand for the Australian National Anthem, sung first in Eora, then in English by proud Walbunja and Gumbaynggirr musician Sienna Walker and Wiradjuri vocalist Olivia Coe-Fox. In 2025, Olivia took the nation by storm with an extraordinary blind audition on The Voice Australia, delivering a powerful rendition of I Am Australian in both English and Uwaru. The performance made history with its incredible reach and engagement, resonating deeply with audiences across the country and beyond. Please welcome Sienna Walker and Olivia Coe-Fox. thank you again to the Dulwich dancers for bringing the heartbeat of culture to today's ceremony. The amazing Yidaki Orchestra led by William Barton, Rowan Mamuru, and a special thank you to both Sienna and Olivia Cofox for that unifying rendition of the Australian National Anthem. To speak one of our language words is to honour the wisdom and teachings handed down through generations, a living testament to our resilience and cultural continuity as First Nations people. As we bring this morning's ceremony to a close, let us carry the spirit of Wugulora forward, one mob. The journey toward healing and unity must be walked together, and in that spirit, let us move forward with hope, determination, and a shared commitment to creating a brighter future for all. We'd like to thank Her Excellency the Governor and the Premier for their thoughtful words. Thank you also to Yvonne Weldon. We'd also like to extend a special thank you to Placemaking New South Wales for hosting us today on Wallumal Lawns. Finally, we'd like to thank you, the audience both here, and for all those tuning in around the country on SBS and NITV. It always was and always will be Aboriginal lands. We look forward to seeing you at more First Nations events today. Thank you.